And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second round of the Bandit Racing League playoffs. The second round of the second round, particularly the 21st race of the season overall tonight at Darlington Raceway, presented by Full Send Racing Network. I am, as always, your host, Marshall Crocker Jr. It's a solo night tonight on the broadcast, as we've had a couple of in the last or the latter part of the season, I should say. But these are always fun. Feeling ready to go tonight. I have the feeling we are in for a great night of racing tonight. So I am more than okay for that to be the case. And there we go. I'm up on camera now. It's going to be a solo booth there, so we got the usual business going on alongside me. But we have so many storylines to talk about heading into tonight. Tonight, like I said, should be an absolutely barn burner race. Just from the start of the season, really, we've had some absolutely fascinating races from start to finish. Let me just very quickly get some music up in here, because for some reason it is not on. Just a second. It's a little quiet. There we go. That's a little bit better. So yeah, it's been an absolute barnstormer of a season so far. Even the start of this round was great. Last week's race at Eldora, our series of races, because we had one heat race and one feature, kind of a back-to-back, more bang for your buck sort of event. We'll go over that in a little bit. We'll do our traditional race recap in just a moment. If you weren't able to make it last week, you'll hear all about how that first round of this first race of this second round of the playoffs went. And again, anybody that wins a race in this series, provided they're one of the 8 remaining playoff drivers, will be locked into the Championship 4, who will race for the championship in Season 9 of the Bandit Racing League at both Talladega and Charlotte. So it's all to play for. Big stakes here tonight. And well, a couple of guys we'll go over very quickly before we get into the meat of tonight's race. One guy who just went to the top of the leaderboard in practice, and you guys are not going to be surprised to see him, but Mr. Nick Nickerson, you see there on the left-hand side. The 2-truck has just been incredible this season. Didn't win last week, the first time in, I think, 3 or 4 rounds in this championship, this series overall, that he hasn't won the first race of a playoff round. So there you go. Brett Guzik gets a 1-up on him. I don't mean to spoil it, but Brett did win last week's race at Eldora. So now it's all to play for Nick. Tonight is a driver's racetrack, and it's the style of racetrack that Nick really thrives at. He's a very talented, very technical driver. So tonight a track at Darlington, one of the toughest tracks really in the entire NASCAR circuit, the Lady in Black they call it. It's not an easy track to tame, and I feel like it's one that Nick is going to take to quite well. And next week being Myrtle Beach, very chaotic racetrack. That's going to be a race where, again, really anybody can take away the win there. Those tracks are very similar to a Talladega in terms of just anybody really has a shot to go for not only a podium but a win. So it's not going to be easy for Nick. Tonight's going to be the night he wants to pick up points. And another guy as well that we got to talk about. We'll go into him a little bit more later. But actually currently in the pits with the 7-truck, Benjamin Lacy, last year's winner when we were in the Xfinity cars last season. For Season 8 when we were here at Darlington, Benjamin Lacy was the winner then. And in a really great finish, actually, I think with Davey Hendricks, if I remember correctly. So Benjamin Lacy, definitely somebody that could pick up his second win of the playoffs. Remember, he won at Dover in the previous round to lock himself into the round of 8 that he's in now. So didn't make it last week to Eldora. Is looking to make up some points. Keep an eye on the 7-truck to go for the win. And finally, the last guy I want to talk about. We talk about him every week. He's such a storyline. And tonight he's got a new paint scheme as well, just for the throwback week here at Darlington. The other thing we're doing here, especially this week for the 21st round, because Darlington is kind of the traditional throwback location for most NASCAR major series. So that great looking 85 truck there. But Cody Welch, I mean, not only did he come away with second last week, was your pole sitter, was just narrowly pipped by Brett Guzik at the end of the race. We know he's quick. We know Cody's going to be again looking for that first win of the season. He is easily climbing up the leaderboard in terms of podiums. He's got to be getting towards like 15 this season. It's just been such an incredible year from start to finish. But if you watched any number of races this season, you'll know the big storyline is that somehow, as of yet, the 85 truck just yet to make it to the top of the podium. And tonight could be the night. It's definitely, again, similar to Nick, a track that I think he's going to thrive at, is going to definitely play to his skill set. Don't mean to jinx him, but keep an eye on that new paint scheme for the 85. Might see if it ends up in victory lane. But with all that being said, before we get too far, before we get to your race recap for last week, and then we obviously headed into tonight's race, first we got to talk about your race sponsor tonight, and that sponsor is Iversen Crane in Las Vegas, Nevada. So again, to kind of a more local business, and we're especially glad to shout out businesses like that really need a platform to talk about the great stuff they do. And in the case of Iversen Crane, they are out in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you to Mason Flagar, the Flagar family, and Shane Thompson for the sponsor tonight, and Iversen Crane repping what is sure to be a really great race here at Darlington tonight. But just to tell you a little bit about them, some kind of about their business and what they do. Iversen Crane and our team of professionals specialize in small and large air conditioning and HVAC equipment installations, as well as trusses, steelwork, precast installs, generator placement, light poles and light pole bases, spa and shed placement, and any and all large landscape installs as well. So no shortage of services there whatsoever. We've been providing crane service to the Las Vegas Valley and surrounding areas for a variety of industries and businesses for many years. Our service includes arriving with a mobile truck crane, rigging equipment, a crane operator, and a crane rigger. If you need it lifted, you can count on our team to provide you a safe and efficient job. So if you are in the Las Vegas area and you want to support not only a really great brand who's able to help the series out, and we are so grateful for doing so, and thank you to Mason Flake, our driver, the number 72 truck, for bringing these two parties together and getting Iversen Crane as the sponsor for tonight's event. But if you're in the local area, you want a really great job done on, well, seemingly virtually any technical repair you need, or any sort of job that you heard listed below, check them out. The number's there. All the information is down in the description below, as well as their website, which you can see here. So if you want a little bit more information, there we go. The link is in the description, so go check it out if you're in the Las Vegas area or anywhere near it. Of course, I'm not a Canadian myself, but if you want to go check them out, that would be absolutely awesome. So there you go. Thank you to Iversen Crane for sponsoring tonight's event here at Darlington. Again, it's going to be an absolutely great event, and I think they picked a good one to sponsor. So with that being said, we will also get into your race recap in just a moment, very quickly, as I always want to talk about, and sometimes I forget to. You may forget that I wear this black shirt every week. It is a Full Send Racing Network shirt. You can kind of see it very vaguely there. I actually like it. It pops up a lot more in real life, I assure you. Just kind of the lighting in the room, lighting on the camera. But if you want to get one for yourself, the place to go, always in the description. Bandit Racing League merch, the link is always in the description. Bill Harkin's always pumping new stuff out. Every time I check back, just casually check it on the website, see what's there. There's always something new added. So that's what's so great about the website and so great about the work Bill does, is that it's never enough. There's always more stuff to find and always more stuff to check in on. So go check it out. Link is always in the description. We have a little mini video here. Where is it? There we go, just to kind of show you what the website looks like and see all the great options we have. So many t-shirts, we got some sweaters, we got some Nick Nickerson merch, some Kevin Foster merch, some mugs, some pants. There is no shortage of stuff there, I promise you. I mean, you want to support your favorite broadcaster, and none of the proceeds go to me or the series, because we make them virtually at cost of what it costs us to make. But if you want to support Full Send Racing Network itself, that is my channel. Again, I'm Marshall Crocker Jr. It's what I do, but we got some shirts up there for that, and you got the driver roster swag. I think the really cool thing there, every driver from this season and Season 9 of the Bandit Racing League is represented. So many colors, so many sizes. There's really no reason not to go check it out. So yeah, if you get the chance, go click the link below, and after the race though, because we got some stuff to go over here first. So that being said, let's get into, as we always do, your race recap presented by Perfect Shine Auto Spa. And in last week's event, we were at the Bill Harkin's Dirt Track Tolerance 50 at Eldora. It was kind of an interesting night, really. It was a heat race style format, as it often is on the dirt. Cody Welch was your pole sitter there in qualifying, and right off the bat went to the lead. Only a 10-lap heat race. It was certainly quick. He took the lead off the very first corner from Kevin Foster. Nick Nickerson and Brandon Jackson would battle it out for the second spot before Nick and Brett Guzik got into a massive wreck there, coming off of turn number 4 with only 3 laps to go in the heat. Maybe only a qualifying race, and they did get a full reset. In fact, Brett made it all the way back to second, but Cody Welch would take the win in the qualifying race and would officially be your pole sitter for your main event. Then it was Brett and Cody on the front row, and what a battle these two had all night. By far the top two in the dirt from the start to the end of the event, but Brett Guzik in the very first corner went all the way around, took over the race lead, and would not give it up for a long time. You see there, that was Sean Britt and Tony Hilbrands coming together. Playoff driver Tony Hilbrands found that truck sideways in the dirt very early on, but here's the battle I was talking about. Brett and Cody just back and forth, would not give up on trying to take over the lead. Now 15 laps to go. It would be Nick who was on the inside of the front row, Cody trying to chase. Nick would get the spot every once in a while with some of these slide job moves he was doing, but Brett always found a way to fight back, tried a couple crossovers, and would often find a way to get by. But here we go, green-white checker, 2 laps to go. Brett would take the jump off the restart and would not look back. Brett Guzik trying to punch his ticket to the Final Four. He did not last season, came close, but this year he will. And he won at Eldora, narrowly holding off Nick Nickerson and the incredibly quick all-night Cody Welch. And he would be your race winner at Eldora, punching his ticket to the Final Four, your first driver to do so. But we know Brett, he's more than likely going to try to go for another win either this week or next week at Myrtle Beach and try to lock guys like Nick Nickerson, like Cody Welch, out of that Final Four. So there you go. there is your playoff bracket coming out of Eldora. 2 drivers did not run at Eldora. Those were Benjamin Lacy and Michael Ramos. Brett Guzik, however, did. And of course, he is punched in on a win. Cody Welch, Nick Nickerson, Kevin Foster, your top 3 point scorers besides your winner. So currently it is Guzik, Welch, Nickerson, Foster, your 4 drivers in the playoffs. Ricky Hart in 6th there, so only 3 points down off Kevin Foster. Tony Hilbrand still in the conversation, only 6 points back of Foster as well. So nobody is out of it by any means as of yet. So there's still plenty to fight for, plenty of season left, and I get the feeling we are by no means ready to see any of these guys go home. I think guys like Michael Ramos and Benjamin Lacy, who didn't run last week. Again, Lacy won last season at this very venue, and Ramos has been quick at the 1.5 miles in the past. So there is all to play for, but we're going to go out to qualifying now, and we actually made it in good enough time to cover qualifying. So let's just jump back out very quickly and get some perspective on qualifying tonight. Maybe do a lap around with the driver currently at the moment. The timing tower has decided to freeze up. Thank you, timing tower, for that. Sometimes if we get too many times in quick succession, it gets a little bit confused. So just a quick second, we'll just reset that there. But I thought I saw that Cody Welch provisionally went to the top of the timing tower here. Let's just get an update here. There we go. No, Nick Nickerson will take over that spot, a 29.44 second lap. In fact, we'll go to the driver of the number 2 truck as he finishes up his second lap here. Going to go on board with the 2. Coming off of turn number 4 down to the start-finish line. Will he improve? Welch does. Does Nick? No, he does not. So Cody Welch getting the better of Nick early on in tonight's event. Cody Welch, a 29.3 flat. Christopher Hamilton makes his return tonight, a recruitee of Nick earlier on in the season. He's had some incredible performances so far this season, so we got to wonder if in his return tonight, not only could he make the podium, but potentially win at a track that he should be good at. Brett Guzik, last week's winner, will only come home 4th, but that's still good enough for the second row. Sean Britt, who's been quick as of late in the 98 truck, just finishing up his first lap, and he ran that was in 29.73, good enough for 7th. Actually, he has done his second lap, but a driver that's just finishing up his second lap is Jonas Lazater will come home. He's currently in 11th. Second attempt, can he improve from 29.8? He does, 29.52. Nice time by Jonas Lazater. He's going to go to the outside of the third row provisionally. Ricky Hart goes all the way to second. The driver who back at Texas, remember, he shuffled Cody Welch out of the way, and that might be something we see tonight at Darlington, kind of a single groove racetrack up there on that high line, so the guys are going to have to get a little bit aggressive, might put the bumper to one another, and you got to think tonight's pole sitter at the moment, Cody Welch, is not going to be afraid to do so, knowing the season he's had. But here we go, last season's winner, Benjamin Lacy, just finished up his second lap, and he's going to run a 29.48. It's only 1700ths down on Cody Welch, but it's only good enough for 7th, the match's truck number, so he will go 7th for the time being. Tonight's race sponsor, Mason Flagar, in the 72 truck, comes across the line for lap number 2. Does he improve? He does. Goes to a 29.55. Mason, I think in the past, has said Darlington's definitely a track that he takes to. Definitely one he enjoys quite a bit. So hopefully he's going to have a good night on behalf of Iversen Crane. He's currently ahead of Brandon Jackson, who just finished up his first lap. Only a minute and 20 seconds left to go in qualifying here. So Brandon trying to crack into the top 10. Down the backstretch we go. Actually, we'll go on board through the final corner for Brandon just to see what this track and this heavy banking looks like at Darlington. You see that high line on the wall. He's going to run as close as he possibly can to it. That way he kind of get a slingshot off the exit there. He's going to get out of the wall. He is going to hit the wall. That is attempt over for Brandon. He's going to have to settle with that first lap. Just a tiny mistake, and that puts him all the way down in 11th. Kevin Foster, who I think was probably preparing for a pretty good night tonight. Still no wins on the season, but consistent point scorer all year. Hence why he's one of the top guys in the playoffs right now. A great qualifying result would be definitely what he's looking for to start off tonight. The A-Truck comes off at turn number 4. Down to the line he goes. What will Kevin Foster do? Does not improve, goes 1,000th of a second off of his previous time. So Kevin Foster going to qualify all the way in 17th because he's going to have a little bit of ground to make up there. But we are pretty much good to go at the moment. Benny Hogan, a notable driver to mention. What a lap time he put down there. So Benny Hogan on the outside of row number 2. And then it'll be Nick Nickerson rounding off your top 5. Really interesting top 5 order there, but I don't want to make a rivalry where there probably isn't one, because as we've seen in the past, Welch and Hart, two guys that respect the heck out of each other. Remember Welch not turning Hart in a very similar scenario to their situation a couple weeks later. So Cody is a guy that just does not take the easy way out. Doesn't make the dirty move in order to get ahead. And I think that'll change as the season goes on. I think if he was given that same opportunity that he had there that week after Texas, I think it was Las Vegas, I think he definitely would take it nowadays, but certainly not a guy that I would expect to get into anything with Ricky Hart, but definitely interesting to think in the past that they have had a little bit of chaos, a little bit of action going on. So with that being said, we are ready to show you your final qualifying results and go through your grid here tonight at lovely Darlington Raceway here for the Iversen Crane 100. So pull down your tower, get ready to go into tonight's starting grid. Your pole sitter tonight on the inside of row number 1, the 85 truck of Cody Welch is tonight the night. We ask every week, but that new paint scheme, maybe that's the refresh he needs. He starts on the inside of Ricky Hart, the 2 playoff drivers making up the front row. Christopher Hamilton makes his return tonight. He'll start on the inside of row number 2 with Benny Hogan at his outside. Great qualifying performance for the 88 Cornflakes truck. And it's Nick Nickerson starting in the 5th spot. Brett Guzik to his outside, the top 2 in last week's race, both playoff drivers, but only Nick needs a win to make it into the next round. Benjamin Lacy, another playoff contender, sitting in 7th to the inside of Jonas Lazatter, who again, the 71 truck. Great result there in qualifying. On the inside of the 4th row, Tony Hilbrands on the inside of Mason Flagar, tonight's race sponsor. Then we got Brandon Jackson on the inside of Eddie Haggy. Just keep going through it there. I'm going to cycle through a little bit. There we are, down to the next section of the grid. Jason Greenwell starts on the inside of Sean Britt. Then we got Mark Allen Bivens. Let's go up to your pole sitter there, and let's find Cody Welch. There we go. We'll stay on this for a little while. So yes, on the inside of Nolan Gross is Mark Allen Bivens starting in the 15th, so a very young row there. Bivens and Gross, I should say. Then it's Foster and Crockett on the next row. David Lakey and Jackson Knock round off your top 20. Then it's Brandon Gears and Bill Harkins, James Hartley and Andrew Zook. Down to your next 7 rows here. Then rounding off your field tonight, it'll be Gary Moore on the inside of Kel Zook. Connor Zook after that, the 2 Zooks in 26th and 27th. Alan Castle in 28th. And Gary Wright rounds off the field in 29th. So that'll be your grid for tonight's race. We'll get your tower up and ready to go. But very quickly, before the drop of the green flag, we do want to make a quick memoriam here for the Oxford High School shooting, unfortunately, yesterday in Michigan. Again, up here in Canada, I assure you guys, we do get news about this stuff, and it is extremely tragic for something like this to happen. So very quickly, we want to do a brief moment of silence here before we come to the green for those affected and those unfortunately killed in the school shooting yesterday at Oxford High School in Michigan. And we are ready to go. Green flag here at Darlington Raceway for the Iversen Crane 100, presented by Iversen Crane in the second round of the second race of the second round of the Bandit Racing League Season 9 playoffs. Already 2 drivers making an impact early on tonight. Cody Welch and Ricky Hart Jr. off to quite the start. Christopher Hamilton, he's in the inside wall. Christopher I saw him in the background there just wiggling and wiggling for about a lap and a half. And finally goes around. What a weird situation for Christopher. The 15 truck just could not get on the groove on the top line. And a very early caution tonight at Darlington. Both Christopher Hamilton and Jason Greenwell going around here. So caution number 1, the 83 truck here grinding to a halt on pit road, makes it back, but I don't think that truck is under power. Christopher is in relatively little damage, but first caution of the night. Let's see what happened. So here is a replay. That is that's Gary Wright. That's not the guy we need to see. There we go. So this is coming off of turn number 2. So you see, he's so out of sorts. Like the 15 truck just wiggling around. Like the back end's got, like it's on fire. Like he's bouncing it around trying to put it out. Like that was such a weird situation. I want to go back a little bit further as well, because like I said, I saw coming off of even into turn number 1, Christopher was kind of out of the groove. So here you go. Here's the 15 truck on the bottom side. On the bottom. So yeah, a bit of a wiggle there trying to get up in the groove with Benny Hogan, who was outside. Gives Hogan the room. He's good for now. He just hooks it. Like it's tough because I was on cold tires too, very first lap of the race, but it's bizarre. I don't think I've seen an incident like that in a while. Just a solo thing that just could not seem to control the truck there. Gets it settled down though, only the one initial shunt off the wall, so not a ton of damage for the 15, but he is now on pit road. He's going to have to make some quick repairs to that truck. Maybe not even use an actual quick repair, but it's going to require some repairs because that is some significant damage there to the 15. And at least aerodynamically over the course of the long run. In the short term, probably not going to be too bad. But yeah, I thought we had these kind of brief technical stutters figured out from last week, but I'm pretty sure it's just a case of with a lot of trucks packed into the track at one time, and the system and iRacing trying to guess where everybody's going. It can slow it down a little bit. So once we get spread out a little bit and we get a couple seconds into each run, I assure you guys that it'll get a lot better. And as you see here, we're looking good. So not sure if it's just how much it's on my end and how much it's on yours, but I know it's definitely something that is more than likely a little bit noticeable. So always want to keep the technical quality high on these broadcasts because we got some great races this season, and the later we get into the year, the more we got to make sure things are ship shape. But there we go. So your first caution of the day, and this is actually a perfect moment to do your track preview here for Darlington Raceway. So I'll give you a little bit of information. That is the wrong graphic. I'll give you a little bit of information tonight about Darlington Raceway. It was opened in 1950, so it is one of the oldest tracks on the NASCAR calendar. Remember, it's played host to the Southern 500, one of the crown jewel races of NASCAR for a very, very long time, number of years. It is of course, a speedway as designated by its size. It is 1.366 miles in length. We're doing 100 laps tonight, so it is a total of 136.6, but the Iversen crane 136.6 just doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well, so we will not be calling it that. The banking in turns 1 and 2 is 25 degrees. The banking in turns 3 and 4 is 23. And as you can see on the track map, the two sides of the track are not parallel. So the first and second corner are very different than the third and fourth corner. And that is certainly tough from a driver's perspective. It's similar to Gateway, aka Worldwide Technology Raceway, another track that I actually like quite a bit. Similar, it's a driver's racetrack, and a lot of the more technical, skilled guys will appreciate that track a little bit more. Mild banking on the straightaways. Again, last year's winner was Benjamin Lacy in the 7, a playoff driver then and a playoff driver now. The quickest time in history at this track on iRacing was a 26.935. And next week we go to Myrtle Beach. We'll talk more about that race later, but that should be a crazy one. But here we go. Doubled up, stacked up, ready to go. Welch the jump. There he goes. Green flag, the first restart of the night here at the Iversen Crane 100 at Darlington. A little ways back, Hart already up to speed in a pretty good fashion, but Welch a much better jump off the restart. Benjamin Lacy's kind of out of the groove again. We almost saw Christopher Hamilton's situation down to turn number 1, but he gets going. Tony Hilbrand's tucks in behind him, then it's Lazat or Flagar. Brett Guzik has dropped back a couple spots. He's in 8th. Everybody's getting checked up here in this backstretch section. Brandon Jackson, you see there, Eddie Haggy was commentating for us last week, might do a few more jobs this season, but tonight he is in the truck and just at the back end of the top 10, blocking off Mark Allen Bivens there in the 76. Up a little ways forward in the field, Tony Hilbrand's again just dropping back a little ways from Benjamin Lacy, who's dropping back from Nickerson, who's dropping back from Hart. So the top 3 here, only separated by a couple of tenths, but at the moment, Cody Welch is in the most ideal spot of anybody. Again, that great looking truck there tonight for Cody Welch, going through 3 and 4 here. So early on, kind of getting single filed out here. Everybody just content staying where they are. Brett Guzik's down to the inside of Mason Flagar early. So last week's winner, the 04, already in the playoff 4, but you got to think he wants to keep getting some reps, keep practicing here. And our final intermediate racetrack before the season finale at Charlotte. So maybe going to test out some technique, maybe try some strategy stuff. But for the time being, Flagar is going to beat him out. So the young driver, tonight's race sponsor in the 72, already off to a good start, holding off the current championship leader. But here we go, the 04 going to try it again. That yellow and blue and black scheme Brett's running tonight for throwback night. Down to the inside, side by side off of 3 and 4. Flagar might get the better run off the corner. It's darn close. Still side by side as we cross the line. What a fun little battle we're having here for the time being. Brett's going to try it again, though. Gets a little bit in that flat section of the cornering right on the way in, so didn't quite get to the apex as quick as he would have liked. And yeah, Mason's going to beat him off again. So that outside the line just looks like it's the place to be for the time being. I think over the course of the race, we'll start to see guys putting the bumper to guys a little bit when it gets really tense. But yeah, track position, as we said earlier in the race, or at least Nick Nickerson told us pre-race in the chat, definitely something that's going to be a big factor tonight. So watch for guys to get a little bit more creative and a little bit more aggressive later on in the event. But up front, Cody Welch not quite pulling away from Ricky Hart as he was a moment ago. Ricky making up a little bit of ground in the 64 truck. Now right on the back bumper of Cody. And again, remember, speaking of the last time that a race was this close and required a little bit of bumping and shoving, well, it was Ricky who put the bumper to Cody last time, and Cody gets in the outside wall. This might be the chance for the 64 truck. You saw the 85, that right side of the door scrapes some paint off, and yeah, here comes Ricky Hart down to the inside of the line, gets it done. Just almost no defensive move there from the 85. Kind of knew the line was taken. The 64 got underneath, and just like that, the one tiny mistake from Cody Welch is going to put him in second, and that'll allow Nick Nickerson and Benjamin Lacy to make up some time. The top 4, really even the top 5, packed into about a second and a half of each other. Off of turn number 4, Ricky still got the better run, so we will keep an eye here, because again, Cody Welch, you got to think he's going to try to lead every lap he possibly can in terms of track position being so important, because you know, every lap you lead up front is one lap you don't have to worry about the guys behind you. You don't have to sacrifice your tires because you're in dirty air for the guy in front. You can just kind of run your own race. And right now, Cody Welch losing still a little bit of time to Ricky. So you got to wonder if for the time being he's got some minor damage on the right side of that truck. I don't think I see anything. Oh, as we run the wall, we're now in a wall. But you can see there on the front right part of the nose there, some considerable damage. And you see there in the back as well. We're partially in a wall, but you kind of get the gist there of the damage on the right side of the truck. So Nick now going to take the opportunity. Nick Nickerson down to the bottom, almost puts the 85 in the wall, but checks up to make sure he does it. We're still side by side in 1 and 2. Kind of forming a wall in front of Benjamin Lacy, who may try the move to get by, does not for the time being. In fact, he's going to go with Nick, and he's going to get 2 and 1, 3 and 1. Cody Welch going to lose 3 spots if Tony can get by in 3 and 4 in 1 lap. So the damage on that 85 truck for the time being is going to be proving tough to deal with. You got to think he's going to want to take a faster pair on a later pit stop if this continues to be a lingering issue. But in qualifying, we know he was the quickest of anybody, so if he can just get that truck settled down and get all of his damage repaired, you got to think he's going to be a favorite for the race tonight. But besides that, Kevin Foster, a little ways further back in the field, is now having a tiff with Mason Flagar, who has dropped back a couple spots the last couple laps. Brandon Jackson did get by, as well as Eddie Haggy, so those 2 drivers made it by the 97, as well as Brett Guzik, who he was battling with a little ways earlier. Brett's in the wall, actually, so guys finding it tough to keep off the outside wall here at Darlington. I think Brett's really pushing to try to make it up to this front pack. Just saw Alan Castle in the background heading down pit road, making his return to the series actually tonight, so welcome back 33. Some damage on the right side of that truck, so you got to think he has been in the wall as well, just as a couple other drivers have, and he actually repaired it right there with a faster pair, so interesting to see. But Christopher Hamilton, who had that initial wreck that brought out the first caution of the night, has since somewhat recovered and is currently sitting back down there in 25th. Further up in the field, though, this battle continues up front. Benjamin Lacy now trying to get by Nick Nickerson down to the bottom, the defending winner here. Remember, he won at Dover last round to make it into the round of 8 here. He went in on a win, wouldn't have made it in on points. And trying to do the same thing tonight, missed that first initial race at Eldora. So in terms of points and trying to make it into this next round on points, it's going to be darn tough for the 7 to do. So if he can pick up a win tonight at Darlington, that would be massive for his championship. And again, there is precedent for it in the past. Tony Hilbrands is in the outside wall, the 92 truck. Yet another casualty of that high side wall here at Darlington. It's proved tough in the past. Drivers talk about it all the time, as staying out of the outside wall here is the trickiest aspect. Inherently, I think the track is one that if you had a little bit more breathing room and the banking almost wasn't so high, you wouldn't be quite as tempted to. But that top line right next to the wall is just so much faster. You really have no choice but to try to go for the win there. So, or try to go for broke, I should say. Up on that top side, so Brett, there he goes. Yeah, Tony, that little mistake, he's going to capitalize on it, or have it capitalized upon. And Brett Guzik, who was having some struggles there early in the run, is going to lose the spot. So Brett Guzik up to 5th, Tony Hilbrands down to 6th. A little ways up front, Benjamin Lacy has finally got the move done. There he goes on Nick Nickerson. Looks like a pretty aggressive send there into turn number 2, or turn number 1, I should say. So the 7 gets the move done. And all the meanwhile, while all this is happening, Ricky Hart Jr. up front, now 2.3 seconds clear a second. There is one guy who's just been chilling from start to finish right now, and it is your race leader, Ricky Hart Jr. Off to a great start here at Darlington. Further back, though, these fun little battles continue, and now it is Cody Welch trying to chase down Nick Nickerson. That 85 truck, I think, figuring out his damage, kind of getting more used to either the tires are coming in, or he's getting used to that truck and dealing with the new handling problems. So Cody making up some ground, and we'll see how long that'll continue. On board down with the 85 truck. You see what you got to do here at Darlington. Get as close as you can to that outside wall, into the braking zone, and into the apex, I should say. Try to ride the wall, make it nice and gradual so you don't make contact, come off the corner, and just like that. That was pretty textbook. Cody Welch, always a very smooth driver, and he is proving wide there. You can see up in the distance there, Ricky Hart in that black truck on the top left of your screen there. He's about, well, at the moment, about 3 seconds clear of Cody Welch, so he's got a little bit of ground to make up for the time being, but it's a long race. We are just about 20 laps in here at Darlington, still only a fifth of the way in, so plenty of time to make up that ground. Besides that, though, Brett Guzik not too far in the background. Same with Brandon Jackson, so everybody's kind of packing up again a little bit. It's almost like Benjamin Lacy is at the front of this little train that isn't all too considerably quick at this point in the run. I mean, tire wear is such a huge factor, but lap after lap, these guys later on in the pack are catching up a little bit. So I don't know if it's them just burning their tires up or what it may be, but the fuel cycle tonight is going to be about 38 to 41 laps, so we're about halfway through the cycle at the moment. Brandon Jackson in the background. Whoa! Cody Welch lost a significant amount of time in that straightaway. Must have gotten the outside wall, I would think, off of turn number 4, so more trouble for the 85 truck. Sorry, off of turn number 2, I should say. He's about to get passed by Christopher Hamilton, who is a lap down, so not for position, but early struggles here for the 85 of Cody Welch, as we've often seen so far this season. It's just the beginning of races, qualifying goes promising, and then something happens in the early to middle stages of the race, and Cody's got to make a late comeback. We're seeing it again tonight. But if you've watched a Cody Welch race so far this season, you know you can't count him out until the checkered flag is flown. So keep an eye on that great looking orange and white 85 truck, because I think even though he's having some struggles now, if he can get that quick repair, if he can get that truck figured out, and he can get back up to speed, especially if he gets a caution, I think he's right back in the event. But for the time being, it's Brett Guzik, it's Brandon Jackson that are rounding off your top 5. And besides that, the closest battle on track is this one here between, again, Mason Flagar, who's currently in 12th, lost a spot to Jonas Lazander, but he's still up there in the top 12 in the top half of the field. And Jackson Knock here in that 00 lows truck that he's running. I'm not sure if it's specifically for this week for a throwback. I think it's a Jimmy Johnson throwback if I had to guess based on the particular styling. So it's pretty cool. Thank you for participating in throwback week here, Jackson. But yeah, now pit stop cycles, I'd say, are starting. Here comes the 00. Here comes the 72. Here comes the 05 of Nolan Gross. So interesting, very early on for pit stops here from these guys, but they are pitting nonetheless. So again, Mason Flagar, who's got front right side damage on that number 72 truck. Jackson Knock, whose truck is crystal clean at the moment. Nolan Gross in that Dale Earnhardt tribute livery coming down. Mark Allen Bibbins as well in that Budweiser livery. There are your top 4 pitting as we speak. So, sorry, your top 4 drivers who are in the pits. Remember, your top 4 effectively is Ricky Hart Jr., Benjamin Lacy, Brett Guzik, and Nick Nickerson. And Christopher Hamilton's kind of throwing a wrench in the plans of these guys in this part of the track. Brett Guzik just got by Nick Nickerson a moment ago, so the 2 truck later in the run here not having quite as much speed as we're used to for him late in a run. But Brandon Jackson, good run off of turn number 2, might get him here down to 3. 99 truck to the inside, much better run. Got a side draft off the front nose, and he should get it done. Can he slide up in front of him? He hasn't yet. Has to back off a little bit, but the 2 truck in the wall a little bit, and that's what the 99 needs. Gets it done. He is up to 4th, up 7 spots from the start of the event. So these guys that qualified up front early, not having a ton of success here tonight. Most of them have dropped back. You think about Christopher Hamilton qualified 3rd, had that incident on the very first lap. Brett Guzik is, no, he didn't qualify up front, I should say. Cody Welch obviously down 5 spots, down to 6th. And yeah, just generally speaking, some of those guys who qualified quite well have not quite had that success translate to the race, with the exception of still your race leader, Mr. Ricky Hart Jr. in the 64 track. So we're going to keep an eye here on Brandon Jackson. We're going to go on board with him for a couple moments, and we're going to go to your first quick break of the race. But don't worry, we will keep you side by side and keep you tuned in so you can see all the action as we go forward. We'll get Brandon up on Skype as well. But again, this is the in-truck perspective on Brandon trying to chase down Brett Guzik for the 3rd position, the final spot provisionally on the podium. And Brandon, what a comeback drive it's been. Not a bad qualifying effort, but he is certainly outpacing his qualifying speed right now. So going to go to a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment here on the Full Send Racing Network coverage of the Bandit Racing League. Here comes Brandon, actually. So quick moment. We'll wait just a sec while he makes the move, because it's clear that at this stage in the run, Brandon considerably more momentum than the 04 truck. Almost gets into him. Almost taps him in the quarter panel. Brett really pressured him down to that bottom side, but he is going to get it done. So gets the spot. This battle's going to continue. We're going to go to a side-by-side, and we'll be back in just a moment. And we are back here on the Full Send Racing Network coverage. You see Gary Wright in the background there coming off of turn number 2. Got in the outside wall, bounced down to the inside, and apparently no damage, but Mason Flagar flies around the outside of Brandon Jackson. Remember, he is on considerably newer tires, to be fair, but yeah, did not seem to care about the driver on the lead lap there, and yeah, he just shot by Brandon Jackson, so he was considerably outpacing him there a couple laps back. I think he must have just made a mistake, dropped back some time, but now the battle to watch is a three-way battle for second place here. Jackson, Guzik, and Lacy. If only one little position had changed there at Pocono, this would be a battle between 3 playoff drivers, but for the time being, it'll come to an end because the caution comes out. I would assume somehow related to Gary Wright's incident there a moment ago, and it would seem so. So let's go to your Full Send Racing replay presented by Perfect Shine Auto Spa. Here is the 6 truck, again, coming up in turn number 2. Sean Britt right behind him, and yeah, Britt just gets right into the back quarter panel of the 6 truck coming off at 2, and kind of a miscommunication there. Not a great camera angle to really get a perfect picture of what happened. Let's go to Sean Britt's perspective here. So this is Sean Britt in the 98 truck coming off at 2. It's kind of weird. I mean, the 6 truck kind of got out of the gas a little bit, but the 98 just, yeah, kind of straight lined it, went diagonal across the apex at 2. There's 2 guys getting into each other. The 6 truck got by far the worst of that engagement. You can see there Sean Britt relatively unaffected. I got to think a little bit of cosmetic damage, some minor aerodynamic effects, but no, the 6 truck looking worse for wear there. So there you go. 2 guys that were sitting relatively mid-pack, maybe mid towards the back, are now on, well, are on pit road, but are also going to find themselves further down in the order, and they brought out the second caution of the night. But here is the race on pit road. It's Ricky Hart, Brandon Jackson, Brett Guzik, Benjamin Lacy, Nick Nickerson, and thankfully Cody Welch. We'll see if he takes his damage repair right this lap, in case he thinks this might be the last caution of the race. Jonas Lazatter as well, but Benny Hogan going to stay out and take over the provisional race lead. But here we go, the race on pit road. Ricky by far the first on, so you would expect, unless he takes extra tires compared to those around him, should be the first off. We'll watch here for the race. Here we go. Who is it going to be? Coming off first, is that Brandon Jackson? Yes, it is. The 99, then Brett Guzik, then Hart, then Lacy, then it was Welch does beat out Nick Nickerson. Again, the question, did Cody Welch take damage repair that time? Did he take his quick repair? I think there goes Andrew Zook in the background. He did, so it's a bold move from Cody. I mean, that's his one quick repair that he just used up for the rest of the race as no more additional opportunities. So if he gets in a wreck or if something significant happens to that truck, well, he is out entirely. So it's a bold move for sure. I think it's the right one, to be honest. You know, going 34 laps, besides that kind of fluke caution right off the start with Christopher Hamilton, I think it's been a relatively clean race so far. I wouldn't anticipate too many more cautions, so I don't know. I think not a bad plan there from Cody Welch, but again, he's got to watch out because now I believe he's the only guy in the top 10 without a remaining quick repair. So 85 truck, this is going to be one of those races where if Cody wants to prove himself, prove why he is worthy of a win in this series. I mean, he's proven how quick and incredible of a driver he is for seasons now, but it's one thing to be quick and it's another to get it done, and he's had some bad luck, but at a certain point, you got to get that win to prove yourself as a championship contender, and if he wins it tonight, it would be well earned. But that means your race leader is going to be Brandon Jackson, and talk about a guy who's had quite the season so far to this point. Brandon has really from start to finish was not a guy coming in that liked the trucks, was not anticipating this to be a season equal to his season last year in Xfinity, where he came 1 position away from making the round of 4. This time he came 1 position away from making the round of 8, and if it weren't for a penalty late in the race at Pocono, would have taken the win there, made it to the round of 8, and you got to think would be competing for the championship tonight. But yeah, unfortunately just did not end up being the case. But Brandon's a fighter, Brandon's a trooper, and you got to think he's going to be a guy tonight that's going to go for broke, and especially at a track where track position is key, and he's your current race leader here and just under halfway throughout the event. Got to think he's in a pretty favorable position at the moment. But I want to take it to you guys in the chat here because, well, I feel like especially in these races with no co-commentator, it's really great to have you guys and keep the sense of community here and certainly give me somebody to talk to. So I also thank you to very quickly to Jackson Knock there in the chat for the compliment on the poster. Yeah, it's my pretty sweet Umpire Strikes Back poster here in the dorm room. We got it's a big AT-AT Walker stepping on a snow speeder. We'll show it. We got 2 seconds here while we wait to go back to green. We'll put the camera up. There I am. How's it going, everybody? And just 2 seconds here. We'll throw it up. You can see it in the background there. There we go. Yeah, it's an AT-AT stepping on a snow speeder from Star Wars. Pretty cool. It's a pretty cool drawing, hand drawn as well. So Pretty sweet. Thank you to Jackson Hawk for the shout out there. You can see the whole wheel setup in the background. Not a ton of room here. It's at the good old dorm up here in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada, but we do what we can. It's actually plenty of room, very livable, and well, and kind of a glimpse into my personal life. It's 1 week until the end of school, until the end of my first semester here at the new university. So it's exciting. Next week at the start of the broadcast, I will have just finished my final exam. So expect a very lively, very pumped up Marshall Crocker Jr. next week on the broadcast at Myrtle Beach. But for now, before we get there, we got a race to call. Lap 37, second restart of the race. Brandon Jackson, your new leader, and he takes the green here for the Iversen Crane 100 at Darlington Raceway as your new race leader. Brett Guzik in second, Benjamin Lacy in third, Ricky Hart in fourth. But Brandon having some internet dropout issues, so we're going to go somewhere else. But here we go. Early on, the battle's already starting off. Cody Welch and Nick Nickerson going side by side. These are two guys that know each other very well. Side by side off at 2. Cody Welch not wasting any time. Your pole sitter tonight should, on paper, have the most pace of anybody, and currently he does. Slides up in front. 85 back up to the top 5. Nice early comeback here in the run for Cody Welch. So Welch up to 5th, right behind Ricky Hart Jr., who's right behind Benjamin Lacy, who's right behind Brett Guzik. There is really no room anywhere in this section of the track. You got a guy in front of you and a guy behind you, and if you make a mistake, that guy in front of you, or that will get further ahead, and the guy behind you will become the guy in front of you. So interesting battle to watch here, but Brett Guzik, last week's winner again. Here we go, tracking down Brandon Jackson. It just feels like the leader tonight, whenever they've had anybody anywhere near them, or really any truck on track, the guy in behind just has such an advantage. I don't know if it's they're just taking the line from the guy in front of them and improving upon it. Clearly, you know, dirty air, not too much of a worry here tonight. Would have thought it would be with how aggressively banked the corners are and how intense the apexes are in 3 and 4. But no, Brett, good pace off the corner, but caution number 3 comes out before we can really watch this battle take shape. Who was that involved in caution number 3? Bill Harkins, unfortunately. Going to go to our full send racing replay presented by Perfect Shine Auto Spa. This is the 11 truck, I believe, off of turn number 4. Just pulls to a stop. Try to get off the track, I think, to not bring out a caution or anything like that, not make anything happen. But yeah, just off the pace. I think he brought it back to pit road. Don't think he blew an engine. We'll go on board here and no, actually no revs. So let's go back a little bit and see if he did blow it. You can hear the engine revving, but nothing on the tachometer there. So this is the lap before. Here we go. So this is coming up towards turn number 1 there on the restart. Or sorry, the first lap after the restart. Just grinds to a stop. I don't know if he just lost. Let's say he just lost drive. Just I'm almost wondering if that's a hardware issue too, because it was pretty gradual. It wasn't like the engine just went on him. So let's watch this. So this is on the restart, right? So he's on the inside row, coming up to speed. Listen for the engine. Okay, gets the upshift. Gets another upshift. Into the corner, lifts. Car's just got no drive. You can see the trucks in front of him just taking off. Sean Britt, Mason Flagar go by. What a weird situation. It almost looks like he ran out of fuel on the restart, but gotta think he would have known that he was running that low there that late into the run. So not sure what the situation was, but the lights in the pace truck back on. I think we're gonna go. No, sorry, that was just last week, unique to last week in Eldora. I was gonna say I think we're gonna go single file on the restart, but we're not doing that tonight. So back under pacing conditions, and more than likely nobody gonna come down pit road, and it would seem that is the case. So yeah, I'm curious to know from you guys. We got 34 viewers right now. We got it's a great audience for tonight's race at Darlington. I think so far it's been a fun one, and I promise you the finish, especially if we get a truck willing to turn somebody else for the win here, especially to make it into the round of 4, the finish could be great. But for the time being, I'm going to throw it to you guys. What do you guys think tonight? How do you think the race is going to go? Do you have any bold predictions? Maybe not even just about the winner, but your favorite driver. How do you think they're going to do? Who are you here for as well? I'm always curious to see who people are out here supporting and who people are here to watch. So feel free to throw in the chat who you're coming by to see, and maybe if this is your first race, if you've been here a while, whatever you may want to put in there, feel free to do so. And yeah, race picks are always fun. Always curious to hear what you guys have to say, so throw it to you guys. But we got a little bit of time here. Let's go down into the truck with Mr. Brandon Jackson, maybe pull him in the broadcast booth, see if he's up to talk. Hey Brandon, it's Marshall up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy? Hey, Brandon, it's Marshall up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey!
There we go. How's it going, Brandon?
Man, it's going good. That green flag run, the long green flag run we had after that lap 1 caution was really good. Went from 9th or 10th to 2nd. So, feeling good about the long runs. But I think the short runs, as long as I'm saving my tires, hold on. As long as I let these guys burn up their stuff on the short runs and I got my right front still on the truck, then I'm going to, I'll be all right. So that's going to be the biggest thing.
That's what we like to hear. 1 lap to go until we go green. So I'll ask you one more question, give you time to get pumped up. But, track position we heard was going to be very crucial tonight here at Darlington. That top line has been so crucial so far. We've seen it be the dominant lane, and really once you make a mistake, that's really the only way for the guy behind so far to get by until somebody puts the bumper to somebody else. So that top lane, you think you're just going to kind of stick with it, try to maintain track position? You feeling good about where you are now up front?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. The top lane is the best lane to run here, but I've been able to make passes on the bottom, especially when guys chewed up their tires. So that bottom is still a good option around here. So I'm going to use it. But right now, feeling confident, feeling nice, smooth, in a rhythm. That's all you need to be here. You don't care about 1 lap speeds unless we got a green-white checker. So if I can do that, I'll be sitting pretty come lap 99.
That's what we like to hear. Yeah, the 99 truck, no, lap 99, something seems perfect about that. But we'll hope you get a green flag run, and you seem quick so far, so best of luck to you going forward.
See y'all.
See ya. There we go. Brandon Jackson feeling pretty good about his spot right now. You see him getting doubled up, stacked up, ready to go. The pace truck onto pit road, so we will see if Brandon can make it work, but getting ready to go on the restart. Guzik to his inside. Row 2 is Hart and Lacy. Green flag and a great jump from Brandon Jackson. The 99 truck is off for the 3rd restart of the race, and he is already a half a second clear down to turn number 1. Behind him, it's Hart and Hart and Guzik side by side. Brett gets the better of that engagement, so Brett Guzik does hold on to second there. Benjamin Lacy in the background, right in front of Cody Welch and Nick Nickerson. Again, this battle between Nickerson and Welch it's surprisingly close, especially when you consider that Cody, again, does not want to damage that truck, does not have a faster pair remaining. So, Cody has to balance right now. How many spots can he make up, get back up towards Brandon Jackson? How can he conserve his tires? And how can he make sure that truck doesn't get damaged? But now, down to the inside to turn number 1, the 85 just sends it in. Cody Welch, what a driver, man. Like, watching him is just... Cody Welch has single-handedly produced, I think, half the content for this broadcast all season, so thank you sincerely to the 85 truck. But I believe we have gone to another caution. We have indeed 4th of the night. Evan's not here, unfortunately, so we can't say what Evan Wall would always say, but cautions do indeed breed cautions, and there is yet another one. Not seeing on the telemetry here any notable spins or anything like that. We're seeing Jonas Lazater has lost a number of spots, but he is still up to speed at the moment, so we'll go back and see if we can investigate a little bit what brought out caution number 4. That would be it. So Tony Hilbrand's down to the inside of Jonas Lazater. I believe this was the battle for sort of been 13th position, and just hooked him. I mean, Jonas was blinking in and out a little bit, so would have definitely made it tough for Tony to try to navigate past him. But let's go to a replay here. So down to turn number 3, Tony Hilbrand's on the inside, blinks out, and all of a sudden the 71's right on his outside, or not even on his outside, right on his truck, essentially, from the top line, just kind of bounced off, and some classic iRacing netcode there meant that, well, Tony in the 92 really had nowhere else to go, and Tony just such an unlucky season for himself so far, and gonna add to that a little bit there by having a truck, a Phantom Ghost truck that he couldn't see, blinking into him right at the last second. So Tony currently sitting down in 13th, was able to make it to last week's race, meaning that he's at least in the conversation for points there in the top 4. Kevin Foster should, at the moment, still be the cutoff driver, but Tony not too far back of him at the moment. But yeah, the 92 truck really got to start working on some momentum and going into next week at Myrtle Beach, unless he can take the win at Myrtle Beach, in which case, of course, any playoff driver who's able to win either tonight or at Myrtle Beach, points don't matter. You just take the automatic spot in the round of 4. So there's so many different situations, different points, theoretical situations that could play themselves out and put certain drivers in the round of 4. But all that I know is that if you were a driver in this series, you just want to go race by race, pick up as many points as you can, and if you're anywhere in the top 5, you're anywhere near competing for a win, especially this late in the year, you got to go for it. So we'll see what guys are willing to do to take away that win. We've talked in the past about a guy that may be willing to do a little bit more than others, Mr. Cody Welch. We'll see if the lights on the pace truck stay on this time by. If they turn off, we won't. But if they stay on, we might go in truck with the number 85. Just wait a moment here quickly. But yeah, again, feel free to throw it down in the chat there if you're new to the series. If there's I don't know, anything you want to say. You guys are kind of our theoretical co-commentators. So yeah, say whatever you'd like. The lights in the pace truck are they on? I believe they are. So if they are indeed, we're going to go to Cody Welch's perspective here, and they are. So let's jump down to the broadcast booth. We're going to pull the 85 truck in and get a quick word with the driver of the number 85. Hey, Cody, it's Marshall up at the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Hey, Cody. Well, it's been quite an event for you so far. First of all, you were the pole sitter, proving you had that short run pace, proving maybe of anybody you know this track best, but some troubles early on there. We saw you take that damage off the outside of your front right quarter panel, had to take that repair there. So how does the mindset from your perspective change knowing that quick repair is out of the bank, but you're still going for the win tonight?
Try to survive and stay off that wall out of turn 4. I earned my Darlington stripe early this time, so just got to watch that and just race a clean race, stay up in the front.
And in terms of making moves, we've seen that top line be so dominant tonight, but Brandon Jackson, who we talked to in the last caution, seems pretty confident you can make moves there on the bottom. What do you think it looks like from an aggression perspective, from an offensive perspective in battles tonight?
Yeah, I think as the race goes on, that top groove is going to rubber up a little bit, and maybe the bottom will come in a little bit better. So right before that last caution, I made a bottom move in turn 1 and 2 on Benjamin there. So it worked out for me, and I think it'll be a little better as time goes on. So we'll see.
Now, you found yourself in the top 5 in a very good spot late in the race a number of times this season. Does anything about tonight feel different? Do you think this is the night for you?
Well, to be honest with you, it feels pretty much the same, running in the top 5 and gunning for a win. So hopefully it's my night, but I'm not going to jinx myself.
Well, you've been fun to watch already, Cody, as long as you can keep doing that for us. I know that's all we care, but you got plenty of people supporting you, and you know what it means if you win tonight. Always going to be a big deal. So I wish you the very best of luck. Get set up for the restart here, and maybe we'll be talking to you after the race.
Sounds good, man. Thanks.
There you go. Cody Welch, calm and collected as ever, and about the same mood as he usually is. And that's the thing. I don't think his approach needs to change. I don't know what I would do if I were Cody Welch, but all I know is that this late in the season, you got to think with each passing race, he wants that little bit worse. And tonight might be the night on the outside of row number 2. But Brandon, still your pole sitter here, coming to the 4th restart of the night. Brett on the inside, then it's Welch, then it's Hart, then it's Nickerson and Lacy on row number 3. But green flag, another good jump for Brandon as we reach the halfway point tonight's event in the Iversen Crane 100 at Darlington Raceway. Side by side go Welch and Guzek. Great jump for Welch on the restart there. Clearly not too rattled by the quick interview there, but the 85 truck off to a good start there off of turn number 2. Is he going to get a good run on the 04? They both got a good run on Jackson. Jackson just did not get going off of turn number 2. Guzek to the inside, side by side through 3. Welch almost in the back of Jackson. Had to check up real hard not to get into him. The 85 truck watching the side-by-side battle in front. Is the outside going to be a lane? No, Brandon's going to come down to cover him. Close margins here, fighting between these guys coming up to turn number 1. Side-by-side still, just nobody giving an inch to anybody. Ricky Hart trying to get involved as well, coming off of turn number 2. It's going to be Guzek a little bit more comfortably than that last time by, but Brandon is still right there. And Ricky Hart and Nick Nickerson, the last 2 champions of the series. Hart in Season 7, Nickerson in Season 8. They're duking it out as well. Last season's winner at this track, Benjamin Lacy. What a race so far. Anybody could take away the win or the lead in the next even 5 laps right now. So Brett Guzek, you got to think probably the most comfortable of anybody just because he doesn't have a truck in front of him to worry about not getting into. But what a race so far coming off of turn number 2. So Brett starting to break away a little bit. Got a couple car lengths that last time by. Now but 3/10 clear of Brandon, which is a mile in tonight's event so far. But Brandon sends it in a little bit deeper than Brett. Should get the better run off the corner. Same with Cody. So, what do you do if you're one of these guys in the top 5? Do you just kind of settle in, focus on tires? Do you try to get to the front knowing track position is so crucial? Like, it's such a long run. We know it's a guaranteed one more stop to the end of the race. So, you can't try to think about fuel strategy right now. Can't try to make it to the end. But here is Nick Nickerson's truck. And yeah, Nick a little bit actually damage to the rear right side of that number 2 truck. So you got to think, if we get another caution late in the race, he might do a similar situation to what Cody did, maybe going for a quick repair. But yeah, just what a battle so far here tonight at Darlington. I'm loving this race for every second of it. But Further back, David Lakey and Tony Hilbrands, both guys who were in the playoffs this season. Now Cale Zook getting involved. This is a fun little battle for 11th. Hilbrands in 11th in that green, light green 92 truck. That green 84 is David Lakey. On the bottom side, in that throwback McDonald's number 44 entry, that's Cale Zook. And Benny Hogan, who qualified all the way up in 4th there, trying to get by in that Kellogg's truck. So I thought we might see a 3 wide there. Benny definitely putting pressure on the back of Cale Zook. Pushes him by, so Cale goes by. The 88 goes by. David Lakey drops back to 14th, still up 5 spots from the beginning. And behind them is Mark Allen Bivens, Nolan Gross, Matt Crockett battling with Sean Britt. Remember Jonas Losader, who qualified really well up in 8th. He's sitting there in 19th. We know he has pace, just having some internet connection troubles. So, whoa, Crockett's into the outside of Britt. Britt hooks him, 10 in the 98. I don't know if something went wrong between the two the lap before, if there's if there's tensions or something, but oh, something's going on here. I don't know if we've gone to caution. I think we're still green somehow. I just assumed, considering everybody was cutting off the pace coming off of 2, but tensions flaring here between Crockett and Britt at Darlington there. They call it the Lady in Black for a reason. It is an evil, evil, terrifying track, and the drivers just having a tough time coping with the track and that outside wall enough tonight, let alone each other. So Matt Crockett gets the worst of that exchange, and meanwhile up front, the 98 truck will continue on, but now Hart, Nickerson, and Lacy kind of forming up this battle here for 4th. Ricky Hart currently holding on to 4th, but up front, Cody Welch right on the back bumper of Jackson. I mean, we got to go to him again. Gonna look on the nose here of Cody Welch's truck just to see how close he gets off of turn number 2. So darn close is the Flushing, Michigan native to Action Jackson. You see there Brandon Jackson's Twitter. Check him out on, his Twitch. Check him out at Street Boss 24. But here we go. Cody to the inside. Is this his chance? Into turn number 3. A deep send, but he doesn't clear him. He's gonna have to check up a little bit to make sure Brandon's got a lane. Still side by side off of 4. It's gonna be a drag race down to 1. Brandon Jackson's gonna be in Guzik's slipstream, and he does get it back. So the 99 truck gonna stay ahead for the time being. The 85 doing whatever he can to try to find a way by. Scrubbing the top line a little bit is there as well. The 85 and the 99 getting as close as they could get, but no wall contact. Just some stellar driving from both these gentlemen. Really anybody in the top 6 tonight. None of these guys have had really considerable issues from start to finish, besides Cody's kind of freak wall hit there at the beginning. But there we go, again off of turn number 4. Much better run this time from Welch. Might try it into 1. I think he just needs to really build up the slipstream on a straightaway and just absolutely send it. Full Send Racing Network for a reason. We've seen some great sends on this channel in the past, and a lot of them have been courtesy of the 85. So all you Cody Welch fans there in the chat, just let me know what's the feeling tonight. We've seen this a number of times. The 85 truck, we've seen his pace in the past, and does tonight feel any different for you? You know, getting that bad luck out of the way early, doing that comeback drive that he so often does right from the start of lap 6. Here we go again. Just he's getting better runs, but that 99 truck just looks like it's on rails right now. Brandon just, I'm impressed. Brandon's often been a guy that can really just get in a rhythm, just knock off quick lap times, but tonight we're just seeing a different level of composure from the 99 truck. And these top 3 are just in a different level. They're just at a different level right now, in a different zip code at the moment from this battle between 4th and 6th. And then not too far back is Kevin Foster there in 7th, another playoff contender who, again, just going to try to rack up points if he can't go for the win, because he wants that round of 4 as bad as anybody. But it's Hart, Nickerson, and Lacy in this battle. Benjamin Lacy's going to peek to the inside. Last season's winner here at Darlington. Is he going to pick up another spot on the regular season champion? He will. The 7 truck up to 5th now, up into the top 5, and Nick is now at the beck and call of his teammate who is right behind him. These GFR Racing teammates, and Nickerson and Foster might tangle it out a little bit, go toe to toe in just a moment here. But yeah, he's in the wall. Nick Nickerson just off his game tonight, it would seem. Kevin Foster's going to get him, so Nick, again, he came into tonight with the 2nd most points of anybody, and he's still in a pretty good spot in 7th, but tonight, just not the night so far for Nick Nickerson. I mean, you can never count him out, but Christopher Hamilton, who early on had trouble, remember, he caused the first caution of the night, just spinning solo early in the race, but now fighting his way back. Nick's in the wall again. The 2 truck just not having any luck right now. Frazzled about something off his game. I want to see if he's on camera now at the moment. He is not. Christopher Hamilton is, and sitting there in VR with the, my favorite, he's got googly eyes on his Skype headset. He just went by, so Nick dropping back, and I mean, momentum is often the name of the game in this series, the thing we talk most about. And tonight, the momentum is not going in the way of Nick Nickerson at the moment. So this battle continues up front here in the top 3. Guzik, then Jackson, then Welch. I think we're going to go to a very brief break here before the next round of pit cycles in the next couple laps. So lap number 64 here as we come to the line next time. We're not going to go to Jackson. We're going to go to Maybe going to go on board with Cody Welch here for just a moment. Going to watch alongside him, see if he can make up some more ground on Brandon Jackson. And we'll be back here in just a moment for the Iversen Crane 100 at Darlington. And we'll go all the way to the end once we get our next green flag, or once we get our next return from commercial. You know what I'm trying to say. Welch and Jackson here at Darlington. Well, you may have noticed there in the background as we went to break, Cody Welch has been having some struggles here on this last couple laps section of the run. Got into the outside wall a couple times off of turn number 4. I think you saw me check the front right nose there. We'll do it again just to see if there's any damage. A little bit of cosmetic damage on the front end of the 85. Not as bad as earlier, but tonight Darlington proving just such a tough track. Again, Cody just really needs to settle the truck down, make sure he can just make it to the end with enough pace that if we get a caution or something like that, he gets a good opportunity. The truck has enough speed at all to challenge the top 2 spots, and right now it does. The 85 truck not looking too bad, but even the tiniest bit of damage, the tiniest little disadvantage here is enough to potentially rob somebody's chance at a win, just knowing how quick these top 2 guys are right now. Guzik, since the beginning, has just been the dominant truck, but you know, again, I think if the pack bunches up at all for whatever reason, I think these guys a little bit further back are going to have a great shot. I think guys like Benjamin Lacy have been showing pace in this part of the run. We saw Ricky lead most of the beginning of the race, so we know he's quick. I think Nick, if he can get a quick repair, if he can get into the pits and just get a little bit of a reset in this last 30 lap stint, I think he's got a chance to creep his way back into the top 5. But for right now, it is Brett Guzik in control of the race. So Cody not falling back, still in that relative vicinity at the moment, but nobody really all that close on track. The closest 2 drivers at the moment are Ricky Hart to Cody Welch, and he's making up that ground fairly quickly. So Cody, who's not particularly falling back too fast from Brandon, though he is now 2.4 seconds back rather than 1.8. Yeah, it's just that momentum that we saw early on in the run. Remember, Cody got 2 passes done in quick succession off the start of that last green flag restart, but no, since then it has just been going downhill a little bit for him. So that comeback is going to need to come back into play. We'll see if he can maybe do some repairs under a caution later if need be. But right now, Ricky Hart Jr., the fastest truck on track. There goes Cody down to pit road. So going to make that final stop of the race sooner rather than later. And remember, you can make it to the end anywhere beyond about 38 laps. Look at the damage to the right side of that 85 truck. You know, cautions breed cautions in this series. And I think one hit off the wall here at Darlington breeds more hits off the wall. You know, you take that damage over time, and it's just so crippling for the overall pace of that truck. So we'll watch him on pit road, see how much he's able to get back, and this will actually be pretty telling for the rest of these drivers. If we see anybody with damage to the right side that may be slowing them down, we'll see if they can repair it in the pits and to what extent. Here he comes back into his box. Meanwhile, on track, nobody else besides Lacy, Nickerson, Hilbrands, and Zook have pitted, and they are pitting as we speak. So jumps onto pit road. We're going to keep an eye on the 85's box. Up on the right side, up on the left. You got to assume he's going to take 4 tires here, get ready for this final run. See what he does in terms of repairs. Again, he used that quick repair early on in the event earlier, which I still think was the most optimal time to do so. And now you see, just can't take repairs on that damage. So I don't know. I never want to count the guy out as he's trying to warm those tires up, get up to speed, and have a real quick pit out lap. But yeah, behind the 8 ball early here for Cody Welch, you can say for the very least, knowing that damage he's got on that truck. But Benjamin Lacy does beat Nickerson off pit road. So the 2 truck, no damage. The 7 truck, no damage. And the 92 truck just leaving no damage. So this is going to be a fun battle to watch. I don't think for the lead unless they have some really great laps here at the start of this next stint. But Kevin Foster coming down pit road. Same with Ricky Hart, who's just leaving his box now. So Kevin Foster actually making it down pit road at a pretty decent pace. We'll see if he's able to cycle it ahead of Ricky Hart, who's just leaving as we speak. Again, no damage on the 64 truck, so still could be a dark horse contender to take home the win, even though he was about 3 seconds back on the way into pit road. We'll see what he can make up on the outlap. Brett Guzik now into pit road as well. The 04's in, the 99's in, so the final pit stop of the night for these guys as we speak. So there we go. Brett's on pit road there. This is going to be crucial for him because Brandon within 4 car lengths on pit road, and you got to assume that's going to be even less when they get back up to speed. So Jonas Lazater, I think, is going to become your temporary race leader. So we'll give the 71 his time in the spotlight. Again, great job there in qualifying. Hasn't quite had that top 8 pace that he showed in qualifying in the race, but he's been quick overall. And there you go. Now he's going to lead a lap for his troubles. So Jonas Lazater, some contact off the outside of turn number 2, but stays on track for the time being. Race off pit road. Let's watch between the top 2. Jackson already well off. The 99 truck just gone. So Brandon Jackson wins the race off pit road. Next comes Brett Guzik. A little ways further back there, you see Benny Hogan, I think it is. Yeah, he's on pit road. So where are guys going to cycle out? New race leader, Cody Welch. I know he's on new tires, but there you go. That's something interesting to see. Track position, if it's indeed crucial. Well, Cody has it for the time being. So again, pitting first means that he had more laps on new tires. So his tires are going to be older at the end. And remember, he still has that damage, but at least for a couple laps, the 85 truck goes to the point. So it's Zatter now on pit road, which means Welch does take over the official race lead. So for the time being, the 85 at least back up front. But then it's Hart, then it's Jackson. So Ricky Hart, I talked about, did come down pit road a lap earlier than Jackson, so he'll be on slightly older tires, but does get the move done and does take over sole position, or well, effectively first position, knowing Cody's troubles and the fact that he's on even older tires. So I don't want to count Cody out, but Ricky Hart might be in the best spot of anybody. And remember, he is a playoff driver. A win tonight would punch him into the round of 4. And it would make it especially interesting for a guy that's had a good race overall, but does not look to be in contention for the win at this point tonight, at least not with, how many laps? We got 23 laps to go. So, yeah, it'll be interesting, especially to see in Nick, even at a good point spot. One more race left in the round next week at Myrtle Beach. Not going to be a track that's particularly, particularly trustworthy from a driver's perspective, especially not somebody like Nick, who I know is going to be quick at the short tracks, but you can only do so much about pack management before it becomes about luck at those shorter half-mile tracks. So not going to be a place I think Nick particularly wants to try to go in and win next week. So I think points are going to become the name of the game for Nick if he can't get it done tonight. But for the time being, the 85 still out front. Cody Welch still leading late in the race, which it's different. You know, Cody Welch to this point in the event, at least this season, normally would be somebody else in front, and he'd kind of be in Ricky Hart's position trying to chase him down. But right now, we're just seeing the difference in tires and the damage on that 85 truck. They're in two really different ballparks right now, and as we come to 21 to go, I have the utmost confidence in Welch and Cody that he can block, but he's only working with so much there, and some little part of me is having flashbacks to Texas right now. You know, Ricky trying to chase down Cody at a track that is kind of a one-groove racetrack where putting the bumper to the back of somebody is the name of the game. We'll see what they do here in lap traffic. If Cody's able to capitalize on truck positioning, and you got to think he's yelling in the chat right now, getting guys to move, that could be huge. This could be his chance, though. Welch gonna have to split the middle. Is Ricky gonna have the momentum to go for the move? That somebody's in the outside wall. That's Bivens. So Hart, I think, thought about a move all the way to the inside. Thought about diving down to the bottom. Thinks better of it. And Welch, I think, perfect truck positioning there to just take the middle, dive up the inside, and yeah, that was a very weird situation there from Cody with lap traffic, but he got through it as effectively as he could, and and he moves on. Other than that, looking elsewhere. Looking on track, just trying to find some entertaining battles for the time being. Brett Guzik and Benjamin Lacy, hello, battle for fourth. Benjamin Lacy trying to claw back points from last week's event at Eldora, where he wasn't available. Now Nick to the bottom of Brett as well, side by side into 3. Coming off the final turn, Guzik's going to stay in 5th for the time being. Again, does not need to win, does not need points, but he's going to go for the spot if he can get it. Bivens kind of getting out of the way there off of 4, gave Guzik the opportunity, and he does get the move done. So there he goes to the inside and past the 7 truck. Now Benjamin Lacy going to be at the whim of Nick Nickerson, alongside his teammate Kevin Foster. The 2 GFR Racing guys might team up, try to get back into the top 5 here. Back up to the front. Cody still holding on to the lead for the time being. What a story it would be if he could put that extremely damaged 85 truck on the top of the podium. But there goes Ricky. This could be the move for the win. Gets it done into the braking zone, but Cody stays on the gas. He is not backing out. Gets it done. Holy cow, what a move there. Cody just sent it into the corner and said, I'm going to stay on the gas pedal. It is up to you what you do, Ricky. Backs out. I think it's for the best. You know, Ricky knows he's got the quicker truck, knows he's got the better tires. I think he's just going to wait for the time being and wait for a better moment. Benjamin Lacy has crashed somewhere, and he's got around the 7 truck in the inside wall off of 2. Gonna go to the replay there, the Full-Send Racing replay presented by Perfect Shine Auto Spa. What happened in this battle with Nick? No, it was David Lakey that was the problem. Coming off of turn number 2, just bounced into him there. Lakey just riding up a little bit high on the exit of the turn. Bounces into 7. And the 7 of Lacy, and just like that, finds himself in the outside wall. Gonna stay on board with this battle with Cody. We're just gonna watch from his perspective from the rear of that truck again. You see the damage to the front right side, and just very quickly, just gonna go away for a second, but sorry, back live, I should say. I believe we are still continuing this battle a little bit closer even. Ricky now 1/10 back. This is gonna be close, so stay tuned here for just a second. Just gotta do something quickly. Here we go. There he goes. There's the move. Ricky Hart down to the inside. Jackson's going with him. Where did the 99 truck come from? Holy cow. Out of nowhere. Brandon Jackson back in the conversation. Oh, we've had a brief stutter here. We are fine. Back up to speed. Back live. Okay, we're fine. But Cody Welch loses the spot to Ricky on the way down to turn number 1. And back in the outside wall. Guzik's going to get him. Cody Welch. Finally, that truck just gives out. He did everything he could trying to lead laps. You know he burned his tires up, but eventually the seeds he sowed had to grow, and there we go. Cody Welch. Finally, the truck gives out, and just a spirited attempt there from Cody Welch. Tried to do everything he could with that very damaged number 85 truck, but finally it gives out, and he puts it in the outside wall. Still up there in 4th. Still about 2.5 seconds clear. Nickerson for 4th. So he's still going to clean up in terms of points tonight. He's still going to be in a good spot, but the hopes for the win, once again, as we've seen many times this season, will heartbreakingly come to an end. But back up front, that means Ricky Hart Jr., now your leader, finally with Welch out of the equation. And the 64 truck again. He was in a good spot points-wise coming into tonight. Did not have the overall night at Eldora that I know he was hoping for, but you know, Ricky's a guy in the past we've seen win in clutch moments. You know, he was the Season 7 champion for a reason. He knows what it's like to win in these clutch situations. But Brandon Jackson, a non-playoff driver, I mean, it doesn't matter in terms of points. You know, he's still going to be at a good spot compared to the guys in the playoffs. But Brandon passes him. It's not like you get a spot in the Final Four for being the best of the playoff drivers. You got to win the race. And if the 99 truck is able to, well, break that, what is it, 81/100th gap down in these final 11 laps and get that move done, get his second win of the season, all of a sudden Ricky's no longer locked into the Final Four. So it's a tough situation here for Ricky Hart. I mean, obviously, doesn't need to battle too intensely with Brandon just because he's a confident guy. I know he's going to be pretty quick at Myrtle. Whoa! Gets hooked by Jason Greenwell. What in the world was that? The 64, smoke coming off the back of the truck. Greenwell flipped over the inside catch. It's got to be a caution, I would think. There's the caution, 5th of the race. What in the world was that? Just what? I'm so genuinely confused about what that was. Just Ricky Hart, you see on screen right now, just taking the headset. What in the world happened there? Gonna go to your full send racing replay, but one of the weirdest things I've seen in a while. It's a full send racing replay presented by Perfect Shine Auto Spa. Here is coming off of turn number 4. Greenwell just way off the pace. Hart goes to the inside. Hart just like half clipped Greenwell, and I mean the 83 truck, classic iRacing physics, just do a 1080 barrel roll in the sky. But so what happened from Hart's perspective? Because it didn't look like. Oh, first of all, I thought for a split second it looked like Greenwell came down on him. Very clearly didn't. Nothing seemingly intentional there in that situation. It was just so Hart goes to the inside, just barely clipped him. Like that is so close. Some weird physics stuff there. Like that would not have happened in real life, and unless there was an intentional steering act meant for Jason Greenwell to steer back down, because he just kind of came left on him, and at the same time Hart was very close. It was just a weird situation, but that is the Bandit Racing League for you, ladies and gentlemen. Just like that, in a split second, your race leader can find themselves in the inside wall and out of the race. So he's on pit road at the moment. The race off pit road becomes the question, and Nick Nickerson, I believe, is going to be ahead coming into the box. We'll see coming out who's going to win the race off pit road. So this is where it gets interesting. Cody Welch in the 85 truck stays out. Jackson off pit road, Guzik off pit road. That's your lead battle. Then it's Foster, Nickerson, the 8 and the 2 after that. And after that, it is Andrew Zook, Cale Zook, and Benny Hogan. So Ricky Hart obviously having to fix that damage. He's still on pit road. He's going to lose more spots. And what was looking to be a great night that would have potentially locked him into the round of 4, suddenly it becomes the worst situation he could have possibly imagined. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the storyline we got to talk about. Let's find him on Skype here. Ricky Hart, no, he's out of the sim. He is done. Just what a weird situation. I'd love to know what happened there, but Cody Welch, there he is in the truck. He's smiling. He's looking happy, which I can imagine just a couple laps ago would not have been the case. It's different. This is what we haven't seen from Cody. Late in the race, leading in the slower truck with worse tires. He's never in this situation. He's always the guy on the freshest rubber of anybody. He's going to line up at the front of a pack of 4 drivers on old tires, that being Welch, Hamilton, Hilbrands, and Gross. And Hamilton, since his early wreck, has come back, qualified in 3rd tonight. We know he's quick, and has come back and made himself a real force in this race. So don't count Christopher Hamilton out on this same strategy for the win as well. But I'm just fascinated because 2 rows of guys on old tires, it's going to be 5 laps to go when we go green. It's not a ton of time, but we've seen just how quick these newer tires are. You've seen guys all night, guys from like 23rd in the grid in the field, taking newer tires and flying by the race leaders. It's just what it's like here at Darlington, but 5 laps to go. It's different. It's a defensive strategy from Cody. Remember, that truck is still damaged, and if anything, I think that damage is potentially going to give Christopher Hamilton the upper hand, even just in a battle between these 2 guys on this strategy. But it's different, and honestly, in some way, that kind of excites me for him, because I think that might be just what he needs, but we will see. We'll see what goes down. The lights on the pace truck should come off this time by, so we should go with 5 to go. If we do not, we'll go to a quick interview with somebody, but for the time being, they are off. 1 lap to go. Welch going to elect for the high side. He's going to try to make that outside line work on the very first lap. I think it's a good plan because, again, we've seen all night that top side just carries so much more momentum. You got to think Christopher Hamilton's not just going to slide into him on the restart. So doubled up, stacked up, ready to go. Let's let them form up here. Go through your top 10. Cody Welch on the outside of Christopher Hamilton on the front row. Can he get his first of the season in a very unique situation with a very damaged race truck? Nolan Gross and Tony Hilbrands, that second row. Then the guys on new tires. Brandon Jackson on the inside of last week's winner, Brett Guzik. On row number 4, it's Nickerson alongside Hogan, who's quietly had a very good race. Sorry, beside Cale Zook, who's on old tires. Then Benny Hogan, who's on new tires. And it's Kevin Foster there in 10th tonight, a playoff driver, just trying to rack up points, you got to think. And it's Gary Moore and Eddie Hagge there on the row after that. And Jonas Lozada coming up to speed as well. So I believe it is only 14 trucks left on the lead lap, maybe even 13. But we are ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. 5 laps to go here at Darlington. And the Iversen Crane 100, presented by Full Send Racing Network. Doubled up, stacked up, ready to go. Welch on the high side, a much better jump. Hamilton's wiggling, Hilbrand's wiggling, Gross is wiggling, and we are off. 5 laps to go, about 6.5 miles. Can Cody bring a very damaged race truck on old tires to the finish? Can he hold off Brandon Jackson, who is hard charging right now? Brett Guzik is off the pace. Again, does not need to win tonight. He's in the round of 4, but he's got some troubles. Kevin Foster's off the pace as well. Back up to the front. Welch looking good here this first lap. Brandon only just getting by as we speak, so Brandon now past Tony Hilbrands. He's ahead of these guys on old tires. Nick is coming out of nowhere. Again, the defending series champion, the man himself, Nick Nickerson, trying to get by Tony on older rubber there in the 92. Should get him this time by. Gonna have better traction in the runoff of turn number 2. But 4 laps to go. Can Cody hold off Chris, and can he hold off the hard-charging Brandon Jackson? And I promise you, when Brandon gets anywhere near these guys, he's going to be flying. Just watch right now. Watch the grip he has in turns 3 and 4. How hard is Hamilton going to block? Blocks pretty good off of turn number 4. That'll slow his momentum for now. 3 laps to go. It is a ticking clock here. Cody is going to... Every second for Cody right now is going to feel like an eternity. Here comes Brandon again on the inside. Can Cody go down and block him? He's going to have to try. Brandon gets by on Hamilton. Nickerson now going by Hamilton. So Nickerson's hard charging. Is Nickerson going to get involved with Jackson? And again, Welch just not going to have the run here off the corner. He's got to try to block. Going to try something right up next to Brandon, but there he goes. Action Jackson gets it done off of 4 and is your new race leader. Nickerson going with him as well. Welch watching his championship rivals soaring by him. Actually, Cale Zook as well. Where did the 44 truck come from? He is on new tires. And he is flying by, just one at a time, picking him off. Now the 44 going to try on your former race leader, but coming to 1 lap to go next time by. What a comeback drive it's been. Was a penalty away from winning Pocono. He could have been in this round of 8 just as easily as anybody else, but white flag, 1 more lap to go. A redemption race here for Brandon Jackson if he can just finish it off. So Jackson, Nickerson, Zook. This battle between Welch and Hogan could have implications for the points. So Cody Welch again, he tried it for the win. He came close. Now it's about damage control. Gonna lose the spot to Hogan, but Hogan has to back off not to get into him. Hamilton's trying to get by as well. Can Christopher Hamilton get back into the top 5? Guzik is battling with Hilbrands. The playoff drivers trying to get any point they can. But off turn 4, welcome back to victory lane. Brandon Jackson may not be in the playoffs, but he is your winner at Darlington. Action Jackson back on the top of the podium. And a stellar drive from start to finish. Tracked Cody Welch down and took home the win. Nick, the 2 truck, recovering all the way back up to second in a race that did just not seem to be going his way, but he fights through it. And Cale Zook and the 44 truck, running that different McDonald's scheme in the 44 there for throwback night, brings it home in 3rd. A great result for him. I think his best of the season. I don't believe we've had him on the podium so far. And the Zook family gets a representative in the top 3. What a race. But again, he was 2 laps away. If that was a green-white checkered, then Cody Welch would have been your winner in an 85 truck that does not look deserving of being this far up in the order. So just what a run from Cody. Picks up more valuable points in the championship. And that storyline about when will the first win for the 85 be? Well, it gets kicked down the road 1 more week to next week at Myrtle Beach. But your race winner, doing his burnouts as we speak, Brandon Jackson, Action Jackson. We talked to him earlier in the event. What do you even say about the guy? 2nd win of the year. His first since his win at, where was that earlier in the season? A short track. We're going to a short track again next week, so perhaps good odds for Brandon. But I'm genuinely blanking on what that track was. But there you go. Brandon Jackson, race winner at. We're going to add some suspense here just a moment. Race winner at Darlington. There it is. 2nd of the season. Nice standing burnout here. I always love a good straight line standing burnout from some of these guys. I like when they switch it up a little bit. So congratulations. Do your burnouts, Brandon. Well deserved here. We're going to go to the side-by-side if we can get him up on Skype here. Cody actually on Skype at the moment, just looking pretty heartbroken about the whole situation. But again, still comes home in a good spot for his championship. None of these are right. That's the one we want. There's Brandon Jackson. Looking pretty happy, and there's the fist pump. Nice. They're switching it up. Brandon's a happy guy. Doesn't look pumped. No, he's pumped. You can see it. There we go. Good man, Brandon. There we go. He's doing his victory lap around the racetrack. Got his race winner interview set up here. Why wait too much longer? Let's pull him in the broadcast booth while he does his laps around. Don't mean to interrupt you, Brandon, but welcome to the broadcast booth. Race winner. This has to feel good for you. How you feeling, Brandon?
I'm wrecking. Hey, how's it going?
Oh my goodness, Brandon, what a drive, man. Just didn't make it easy for you there at the end. We'll go to your truck perspective here, because there's still some sick burnouts going on. The first time I think we've ever had the live interview burnouts with somebody before, but you're celebrating, and it is well deserved. You were tracking him down. You looked like a hungry dog chasing a taco truck there. You were just flying those last couple laps on fresh rubber. And did any part of you think when I think it was Tony that kind of held you up there, those older tire guys were proving tough to get by for a lap or two, did any part of you think Cody was just going to drive away?
No. I knew that I had the freshest tires and everybody else behind me had fresh tires. That was just going to be the game of who can get through these guys the quickest and the cleanest. And I'm not going to lie, I did give Tony a little bit of a kiss on the left rear coming off of turn 2. I mean, he was pinching me a little bit. I didn't mean to, Tony. I'm sorry about that. So if you're here, I'm sorry. But, man, was that fun. All races, it was fun. I love this place. It's hands down probably my favorite track on the schedule. So, I haven't won in so long. Like, I don't know what to do.
Well, what you can do is you can... we've put Nick up by accident on Skype, so... Let's get his face out of here. I know we're too used to seeing him in the broadcast booth, so let's get him out of there. But yeah, there we go. We're back, and no, it feels like it's been so long, Brandon. But at the same time, it feels like you've been in the top 5 most dominant guys this season, and just somehow, unfortunately, you are not driving with a green stripe on the back end of that truck. Did any part of you, after what went down there at Pocono, and unfortunately the circumstances that led to you not being in the round of 8? Did any part of you want to prove something to yourself? And is tonight any more special than any other win?
Yeah, tonight's special. Me getting knocked out of after the first round is not what a lot of people thought would happen to me. So this win just still goes out there and shows that I still have the talent level to get out here and whoop some ass. Sorry about that. But man, it's just fun. You know, I hate the trucks, but Darlington is a driver's track, man. You got to save your stuff. You got to know how fast you can go, but still have rubber, you know. And it's a fine line here, and that's why I love it. It's so much fun. Gotta hope this place never gets repaved.
No, I agree. The racing tonight was stellar. I'd heard something about, track position was going to be key. The top line was going to be too dominant. But, yeah, you proved throughout that there was a bottom line there. You certainly had to use it there beneath Cody and Christopher late, going side by side, making things work there on the bottom line. But, Brandon, to come back up to the top of the leaderboard again in such a dominant fashion, you're not really somebody like a lot of Cody's wins or a lot of Cody's drives where he has to make comebacks late and is always fighting from the bottom. You seem to just be somebody all season who's had dominant races throughout, and I think if we did it by most laps allowed in a race, you'd have 5 or 6 wins now to this point in the season. So, for the rest of your year going on, we got 3 more races at Myrtle Beach, Talladega, and Charlotte. 3 very different racetracks, but in my opinion, they're all tracks you'll play pretty well at. I mean, Talladega, everybody's about even there. So, do you think there's any hope for another win this season? And in your mind, if you prove that you can rattle off another win, or maybe even 2 wins, does that give you this feeling that you were about as equal as any of the guys battling for that Final 4?
Oh, it does. It does completely. I wish I still had a green stripe on my spoiler, man, but it just wasn't meant to be. But man, I mean, it just goes out here to show, man, you can't give up on these guys that don't have a green spoiler. Things happen in the playoffs, and not everybody can control it. What happened to me, I couldn't control it. Well, a little bit I could have, but oh well. But that's just the way racing goes, man. And tonight, I felt so good here. I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling early, especially in practice. I just couldn't get the quick time that I wanted. But then I just sat back and I realized, well, it's Darlington. I have the pace, so I shouldn't really worry about. All I need to worry about is getting through a lot of the trucks and the lap traffic without hurting myself. And which that was a tall task in itself. Lap traffic was abysmal tonight. I don't know. Maybe it's just Darlington, but lap traffic was a struggle tonight. But man, it is what it is. I mean, I wish I had like some milk or like some champagne or something. I want to celebrate. I didn't expect this. It's been a long time. I don't even know last time I won a race. So,
Well, you won a short track earlier. I was just blanking on which particular track it was, but it's been a while. But like I said, it sincerely does not feel like it, Brandon. It's been, for what you were expecting this year for the trucks, it's been a great year, and to have you pick up a win here at a track that we knew was going to be competitive, that a lot of guys were looking forward to. And I think for a lot of guys, all the way until Charlotte was kind of the last easy to plan for savior. Next week we go to Myrtle Beach and then Talladega. For these guys left in the playoffs, I don't think they're going to enjoy the next 2 weeks. So to pick up kind of their last real chance they had before Charlotte is pretty sweet, I got to imagine. So just it's a great one to see. I'm really happy for you, Brandon, and it's good to hear your voice again in the final, or the first interview of the race today. So we'll give you your shout outs. You know the deal. Any shout outs you want to give to anybody at home, sponsors, anything like that. You know the deal. Now's your time.
And of course, I got to shout out all of our service members. They do the dirty work that a lot of us don't know about. And shout out to law enforcement. Those two groups of people, they do a lot of things, and they deal with a lot of things that a lot of us don't even want an idea, or don't even have an idea what they're doing mentally and physically. So shout out to them. But shout out to Evan Wall Media, as he likes to call himself, Evan Wall Comedia, for making the beautiful paint scheme that I've run. And just shout out to Bandit and everybody watching. Like I said, like I always say, man, I don't have many fans out there, but for those of you that are out there, let's have some fried wings tonight as our party gift. Party's at my place tonight. So with that said, thank everybody. Hope everybody enjoyed the race. Pretty fun race. I don't know how the rest of the race was, but for me it was so fun. I don't know. I can't talk straight right now. I need to like climb the fence and go party in the stands. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to do a Helio Castroneves like fence climb. Go get yourself a beer. You gotta go party. I'm sorry to keep you here too much longer, but you always say you don't have fans, Brandon. I swear to you, friends, family, doesn't matter who it is. Anybody I get to watch these broadcasts always talks about how much they like you. And I know there are people on my side that are going to be happy to see this. So congratulations, Brandon. Keep running around the track if you want. We have the lights on until about, I think, 2 more hours. So there you go. Go have fun, Brandon. And again, congratulations, second win of the year.
Man, thank y'all. Woo!
Woo! And hey, Street Boss 24 on Twitch. Go check it out. There you go. Race winner, Brandon Jackson. What a guy. What a drive. And he, like I said, he's still moving. He's still going around. So he is not done tonight. But time for your second interview of the night he's a guy we know quite well. He's a guy you guys have heard many a times, but tonight was not the easiest race for him. So let's bring him to the booth momentarily. Mr. Nick Nickerson. Just a sec. Not your race winner. Just disregard that graphic entirely. Take that down. There you go. Magic of video editing. 2 more seconds. Almost good. Really wish these updated automatically, but they do not. So here we go. Second interview of the night. We're ready to go. Nick Nickerson is all set in the broadcast booth. And again, not an easy night for him tonight. It'll be interesting to talk with him. Hey, Nick, it's Marshall up at the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
How's it going, man?
It is. It's going pretty well. We certainly had a fun race to watch tonight. That was one of the best ones in quite a while. But Nick, I got to be honest, that did not seem like a traditional Nick sort of race. There was all sorts of adversity for you from start to finish, but you still fight back for second. Just kind of overall, talk about your kind of what's the word I want to use? Kind of your esteem throughout the race, because it certainly seemed like you had some tough stuff to get through there at the beginning.
Oh yeah, I freaking slapped the wall pretty early on in that whole race, and kind of damaged my car a little bit to where I couldn't keep up. And those front runners were able to kind of maintain the fast line for the majority of the race, so I had a hard time keeping up. And because of the damage, I started wearing my tires out a little quicker, and then thus slowing down. So I couldn't really fire off until we had that last pit stop. And once I got the last pit stop and used my fast repair, because I couldn't use it early on in the race because who knows what could have happened. But yeah, I could do pretty much 2 full stints with a busted up race car. And then when I got the damage fixed and fresh tires, then it was kind of game on from there. Definitely dodged a couple, could have been a really bad night incidents. I mean, I know right off the start, I went right in between, I think it was Ben and Chris that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was a new pair of underwear after that one. But,
I bet.
Yeah. And yeah, man. I mean, wish I could have got a couple more extra laps there at the end to see if I could have even ran down Brandon. I just wasn't sure because I've been running a busted up car the whole night. I wasn't sure how fast I was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, good job for Brandon. Hell of a run there at the end, and yeah, man.
Yeah,
Let's go to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, let's do it. You're ready to go, but I mean, for the time being, for tonight, you said it yourself before the race, and I was keeping an eye on it throughout. But you said the track position was going to be so crucial tonight. I mean, knowing the top line was as dominant as it always is here at Darlington, but. Yeah, it actually seems surprisingly easy to pass tonight. I mean, some guys are making it work on the bottom. Slide jobs were prevalent. Of course, it was easier on the top line, but there was definitely more of a second groove there on the banking than we would have guessed. So tonight, was it any easier from an offensive perspective than you were guessing going in?
I mean, I don't know how they were racing up front there, but I had a very hard time passing anybody of like my own speed. I can fly by guys that had substantial damage or older tires pretty easily, but I don't know. I still thought it was going to be pretty dang difficult to pass. Even slide jobbing into 3 and 4, like it's just so sketchy doing that because you're not sure if your car is going to stop before it hits the wall. It'd probably be easier to do on fresh tires. That first, I don't know, 6-7 laps, you can probably get all that stuff done. But after like 10 laps, and tires are worn out, man, it's very, very difficult to make any type of pass.
Well, luckily with
me.
Yeah, luckily with your situation at the end there, the guys that you were getting past, as you said, were not on your level of speed, and Cody took a gamble there. I think it was a bold choice there, especially with the damage he had to go for the win. But yeah, you and Brandon got by him there at the end, and yeah, I think a couple more laps, you and Brandon would have definitely had a fun tussle. But you're already talking about Myrtle Beach. You're ready to go, and you're in a great point spot. Picking up a second again, coming off of last week where you had a great points haul as well, a second back-to-back weeks, which is kind of uncharacteristic for that number 2 truck, but heading into Myrtle Beach there, yeah, it's weird to see as the second interview of the night. I picture you as first or third typically, but yeah. So going into Myrtle Beach, I said to Brandon just a moment ago, I think Brandon may have taken away the win at the final traditional track that I think the playoff guys are probably looking forward to until Charlotte, because next week at a short track, we've seen in this series, short tracks are a whole bundle of fun, but they're also a bundle of chaos. And then Talladega, just how do you set up your mindset as a playoff driver going into a short track that's going to be full of chaos, and then a track as random as Talladega?
You just can't really plan for anything. Just throw down as many practice laps as you can, I guess. I mean, I just quit kind of worrying about it because there's not much you can do until you actually start racing, and you got to make those split-second decisions. There's not really any way to prepare for something like that. I mean, you spend the entire season practicing certain things or learning certain deals, like when it's good to go. If you're in the front, when is it good to get tires and when just to stay out? Because if there's like 10 to go on a short track and you come in for tires, like, are you going to be able to make it to the front, or would you have been better off just staying on old tires up front? But
right,
I mean, just gonna kind of go into it. And then Talladega, man, again, not really much that you can prepare for. You just gotta hope the cards are in your favor. You can run the entire race nice and clean, and then come into that last corner of the last lap. Who knows what's going to happen? Are you going to be able to make it through the smoke and come out the other end, or not? So,
yeah, that's the question. But for the time being, you got to go in next week. Make sure the green stripe is still on your truck at Talladega, and then you can worry about the chaos of that race. But for the time being, Nick, and another second, man, you're picking them up. You're just knocking them out of the park. That genuinely, I haven't been keeping track. I'm going to check for next week. You're getting claps on Skype. But my prediction probably got to be 17 or 18 podiums this season. It's just been the most dominant year I've seen in any series on iRacing, and the fact that you're kind of cooling off a little bit is at least making the broadcast more entertaining. So thank you, Nick, for second.
Yeah.
Something a little different, but second still means you get an interview, still means you get your shout outs. So now's the time. You know the deal. Anybody at home you want to talk about, sponsors, anything like that, do your thing.
Yeah, man. And one last thing, I mean, because Brandon won, that still leaves 3 spots open, so that makes it a little bit, makes us all kind of breathe a little more going into Myrtle Beach. We're not racing for 2 spots.
Yeah, stay tuned, everybody.
Yeah, but I got to thank Big Red Propane for sponsoring the GFR Racing, TechNet, Perfect Shine Auto Spa. Everybody that watches this broadcast, you guys make it tons of fun to read the comments and whatnot after the race. I usually try to watch the race before I go to bed. And you got to thank Bill, Matt, all you do for the league, everybody that races, tons of fun. And got to thank you, Marshall, for the broadcast, man. couldn't it wouldn't be as fun without you.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, and genuinely, we say all we do about you, and oh, Nick's back here, back on the podium, all this stuff, getting tired of seeing his face on the graphic. But genuinely, you make it fun to watch, man. Your drives, your comebacks, and your ability to always be in the fight keeps the battle for the win entertaining. So it's a very symbiotic relationship you and I have. But I'm really really enjoying it this season, and you've been a large part of it. And you give us a great champion, a great title holder heading into the final round. So thank you, Nick, for everything you do, man. Another great drive from you tonight, and hope you enjoyed tonight. It was a fun race, lots to watch, and going to be lots of storylines heading to Myrtle Beach.
Hey, man. Yeah, appreciate it, man, and I'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Have a good week, Nick.
Hey, take care, man.
There you go. Second place tonight for Nick. Not the win that we've become accustomed to seeing him take away, but certainly a great drive again. He's your defending series champion. You guys know Nick. None of you should be at all surprised by what he was able to do tonight. But what we should be a little bit surprised about, and this is not to say anything about the driver, Cale Zook is an incredible talent, and he is your third and final interview of the night. Incredible race from him. But he started in 26th tonight. So Cale Zook, so much we got to talk about. He's not Nick, of course. You're going to see Nick on the graphic, so we'll get him taken down and put Cale up. But what a driver. Hopefully he's still on track so we get his truck. He is. Cale Zook, thank you sincerely, man, for staying on track and keeping your truck up. And you were our final interview of the night. So let's get his graphic up there and pull the driver of the 44 into the booth tonight. Your third place finisher at Darlington. Hey, Cale, let's marshal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you, buddy.
Hey, Cale, congratulations, man. A stellar drive here tonight at Darlington. Coming home third ahead of some incredible talents who really needed tonight for the playoff, for their championship hopes. Just, late in the run there, you were kind of somebody that I think fell under the radar with all the storylines happening there up front. But talk us through your strategy late in the race with tires when that last caution came out and what that final couple lap run looked like for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one. I'm better on new tires, so I just figured that was the call. I thought more would come down, but we had 4 stay out, so I was kind of worried that I wouldn't be able to, make moves. It's so hard to pass on the bottom, but I guess their tires had worn off enough. Just followed Nick through and got to P3. So.
Well, speaking of a track like Darlington, where it is extremely tough to pass, that top line just so dominant, but as I just mentioned a moment ago, you started in 26th position tonight, and you still find yourself in third at the end of the race, strategically, both on track, both in terms of strategy, in terms of just guys in front of you having issues. What was it that gained you 23 spots at such a tough track to pass out like Darlington?
I don't know. I have no idea. I messed up both my qualifying laps, so that's why I started back there. Got taken out by my own brother with about 40 laps into the race and had to use my quick repair. I thought I was done at that point. Going 60 laps, I thought I might get caught in something else. So I was just super, super passive, and I guess the cautions just kind of fell my way.
Yeah, it was a tough race for some and a lucky race for others, but you had the luck, but you also had incredible driving ability there. You were somebody that I just never really saw on the wall. You're one of the few trucks that seem to generally have quite the line, quite the stable approach. So yeah, just a great drive from you tonight. And again, we get this late in the season and guys are fighting for the championship. And I think aside from a few guys, I think we would swap in and out. I think Brandon tonight certainly proved he deserves to be in the top 8. You fought through some incredible talents that have definitely proven themselves in the past as elite in the series. So from your perspective, you're a name we've seen in the past that finds success at a lot of short tracks I've seen typically, but you're always quick in qualifying typically. I mean, tonight was kind of an outlier there, but you're always a quick guy. Like, what do you think you bring to the series? How do you see yourself in the series when you think of I'm top so-and-so, I expect this from myself? Like, how does tonight measure up with your expectation of yourself in this series?
Yeah, I don't know. It's taken almost 2 full seasons to get a podium, so that's been kind of frustrating. I thought I've had some runs where I was fast enough to be in the top 3, but I think for me it's just I need to get a little more consistent just on all my runs. So that's what I'm working on.
I wish I had my statistics better prepared and stuff like this for certain drivers, but sorry, this is your first podium in series history?
Correct, yeah.
Congratulations, sir. There you go. What a track to do it at, too. Darlington, not an easy track whatsoever. It's a driver's racetrack, but it's certainly one that I think was one that a lot of guys, again, a lot of top guys were looking forward to, and you showed them the way there in that new 44 McDonald's throwback truck this week. So, yeah, just a great drive from you overall. And finally, I want to ask, because we've had some fun storylines this season, and I forget exactly what intermediate track it was, but a few weeks back, it was you and your brother had quite the little tandem going there. The Zook connection, as I called it at the time. I don't know if you guys saw that on the broadcast, but definitely a storyline there. Just tell us a little bit about that. I know you guys got that like channel there in the Discord. Tell us a little bit about the Zook family and what you guys bring and how you guys strategize together.
Yeah, I don't know. In race, it's we usually get separated, so it's really not much talking other than just if we're on the same pit strategy. When we're going to come down, we try to go down close together. There, we just happened to it was Las Vegas. We just happened to get come out off pit road. He was in front of me, I was behind, and I just told him, I said, you know, take whatever run you have. I'm following you, and that's what he did. Kind of hurt us in the long run. We burnt up our tires, but it was a lot of fun charging through there. So
it was darn fun to watch too. That was just single-handedly the best part of that Las Vegas race. So it's good to hear, and you're representing you guys tonight, getting that first podium for the Zooks, and again, seeing the speed you guys have had in the past at a number of tracks. I do not feel like this will be the last time we see you guys in a while, but maybe even this season. You know, we got some fun tracks coming up, and if memory serves, I think one of you guys, if not both, had a lot of success earlier this season at Daytona. So. You guys, I got big hopes for you, and Kale getting you tonight in the broadcast booth in the top three is really exciting. So, but before we head off and before you get to go celebrate, like I think Brandon's doing as we speak about his win, before you get to go celebrate your first career podium, you know what to do. You always got plenty of people watching you. You and Connor have plenty of supporters, and Andrew as well all the time. So, any shout outs you want to give, sponsors, anything you want to talk about, now's your time, man.
Yeah, just thanks to you and Evan when he joins for putting the broadcast together. It's really good. The Bill and all the admins, they do a really good job running this league, and then just everyone watching, appreciate the support.
Awesome. Sincerely appreciate it, Kale. Again, congratulations, man. First career podium, and sincerely, what a race to do it at. You take home third tonight, and again, coming from all the way in 26th was not an easy drive for you. So go celebrate, man. Go get pumped up, and promise us this won't be the last time we talk to you or the rest of the Zook family for quite a while.
I'll get back up here soon. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you, Kale. Awesome there. Your final interview of the night with the number 44, Kale Zook. What a drive from him tonight, man. Great race capitalization on what was such a fun finale to tonight's event. It was such a fun race overall, and I'm sad to see it come to a close because that was a genuinely really great race, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it as well. That was genuine. I think the most fun I've had here in quite a while, even without my broadcast compatriots alongside me. So there's the story of the race. Where's Brandon's track? He's off track, so we'll bring it to a close there. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, sincerely for watching. You see up there your final results tick through as they always do. So if you want to see where your favorite driver finished, up there is where to do so. They've been scrolling by for a while, but yeah, great race overall tonight. So much fun to watch. So many fun storylines. It's always good to get some in-car interviews. The support tonight, a number of people commenting and you guys interacting. A number of viewers, it was incredible. So tonight's the most fun I've had in a while. And again, next week when I'm done university, and this will be what I get to commit the most of my time to. So hopefully you can put something fun together for that final round at the end of the round of 8 at Talladega and Charlotte. Maybe we'll get a fun video together and do something fun for the final 4. But that final 4, who's it going to be, folks? Genuinely, I am so excited to see, because those top 6 are going to be so close. I mean, Benjamin tonight, unfortunately with some of those troubles there towards the end, he just didn't pick up the points he's going to need. He's going to have to win at Myrtle Beach to make the final round. Michael Ramos, I don't believe, is here tonight, so again, he's going to need to he could still win next week and hope to do it that way. But the final 4, man, it could be any of Nickerson, Welch, Hart, Foster, Hillbrands. Tony had a little bit of trouble tonight getting in a couple wrecks, but a win at Myrtle Beach and you're in. Anything could happen, folks. I promise you it'll be a great race. Tune in next week. We might have Eddie Hagee back in the booth, if not Evan Wall. Evan was busy tonight, but Brandon shouted him out as well. Evan Wall Media, down. It's always reversed. Down there's the logo. Evan Wall Media. They're always in the description. He does graphic design work, logos, trucks for iRacing, anything like that. All sorts of stuff, so go check him out. And again, one more time, we got to thank our race sponsor, Iversen Crane, out in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you to Mason Flagar, the Flagar family, and Shane Thompson on behalf of that sponsorship there. And again, the link is in the description. You want to go check out what they do if you need any number of crane-related functions for a number of production works and stuff like that, stuff for the home, and really any matter of things. That's the funny part, is there were just so many things on that list I read pre-race that it's tough to break it down into anything specific. So Iversen Cranes, thank you so much for sponsoring tonight. And again, go check out their website in the description if you're in the area or you're interested. And speaking of links in the description, again, one more time, the Bandit merch. Got to check it out. There's the website once again. So many cool products. Genuinely, this is the time to do so. Up towards Christmas, if you got a friend or a family member who enjoys the series, or if you got a driver in the series, perhaps a younger driver, you want to get them some stuff for the series, you want to give them that cool driver roster shirt that is guaranteed to have their name on it if they're a driver in the series, or if you want merch that has your driver's name on it, you guarantee it's there, and we're always making more stuff for individually unique drivers week to week. So if you're a fan of Cody Welch, I assure you there will be Cody Welch merch. I don't know how there is not yet. Genuinely, we're almost getting to the point where if Cody wins a race, I will specifically buy a Cody Welch t-shirt, because what a season he's had, man. He has, again, single-handedly created so much content for me this year. So much to talk about, so much that I would like to get merch for. And point is, we're coming to the end of it. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to Bill Harkins for doing what he does every week, for putting it together. Thank you again to Mason for sponsoring. Thank you to Brandon for keeping it fun. Anybody we interviewed mid-race, I know some guys get a little bit rattled by the interviews, but I always go to guys that I know will be up to talk. And I know with Nick, we had that one race where we accidentally interviewed him at the start of a green flag stint, but he still talked through it and made it look pretty classy. So thank you to everybody we interviewed during the race, and thank you to all the drivers. Thank you so much to everybody at home and watching for what you guys do. I so much appreciated it, and there was plenty of interaction tonight. Myrtle Beach next week, guys. That's where you find out who your Final Four racing for the championship are. I will see you guys in 7 days. Until then, at Myrtle Beach, have a great rest of your week, and we will see you in 7 short days on December 8th for a race at Myrtle Beach to round off the round of 8. Have a good week, everybody. Hi everybody, Marshall again. I am back very quickly. One important thing I forgot to mention, our very own Trey Ellis, first race winner of the season in the number 4 truck. He won all the way back at the beginning of the season at Daytona. He's getting married this Saturday, so congratulations to Trey Ellis. And I see he wasn't here tonight. Trey, I wish you the very best, and I hope your wedding is lovely. I would go if I wasn't up here in Canada. But racing is life, Trey, so you better be back here next Wednesday, okay? Sounds good. Enjoy your honeymoon, Trey. Congratulations to you and your new wife. And there you go, final thing of the night. So Trey Ellis, enjoy on Saturday. Everybody feel free to wish him a happy wedding. But that's it. That's that off, everybody. See you guys next week.